Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Montreal, Canadiens fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you're like me, you're always looking for the latest updates, rumors, and strategic moves that could shape the future of the Montreal Canadiens. And let me tell you, this offseason has been quite the roller coaster, with plenty of whispers and reports swirling around the team, especially when it comes to bolstering the roster for what we all hope will be a strong push towards the playoffs. The Canadiens, as you all know, have been in a bit of a rebuild phase, trying to find that perfect mix of youth and experience to propel them back into serious Stanley Cup contention. And honestly, this recent rumor that's been gaining traction could be just what the doctor ordered. It's about adding a young, talented center with a lot of upside, and it's not just any name, it's Marco Rossi from the Minnesota Wild. Yes, you heard that right. Rossi, the 23-year-old forward, has been catching attention across the league, especially with his impressive performance last season. The thing is, the Canadiens are exploring ways to reshape their roster, and this potential deal could be a game-changer. The idea is to trade away some young prospects, namely David Jiricek, who's a promising defenseman, and two other young players, along with veteran winger Josh Anderson. That's a bold move, no doubt, but if it pays off, it could give Montreal a reliable second-line center for years to come. And Rossi fits that bill perfectly. He's only 23, but his skill set shows a maturity beyond his years. He's already demonstrated he can find the back of the net, putting up 24 goals and 60 points last season, all while playing over 18 minutes a night in 82 games. That's not just good, that's elite for a player still in his early 20s. And here's the kicker, Rossi was the 9th overall pick in the 2020 draft. That kind of pedigree speaks volumes about his potential. Despite having just 185 NHL games under his belt, he's already shown flashes of brilliance and offensive prowess, with back-to-back 20-plus goal seasons. That kind of consistency is exactly what the Canadiens need to bolster their forward group. And to make things even more interesting, this trade proposal also involves acquiring defense prospect David Jiricek. The 6'4", 204-pound right-handed defenseman was drafted 6th overall by Columbus in 2022 and has shown glimpses of becoming a top-pairing defender down the line. He played 12 games between the Wild and Blue Jackets last season, adding some much-needed size and skill on the blue line for Montreal. But of course, every trade has its counterbalance. In this case, the Canadiens would be parting ways with Josh Anderson, the 31-year-old winger known for his physicality and scoring ability. Anderson, who was drafted back in 2012 by Columbus, has been a key player for Montreal, providing both offensive punch and grit. Last season, he scored 27 points in 81 games, averaging nearly 14 minutes of ice time per game. His departure would be a big change, but the potential gains in acquiring Rossi and Jiricek could outweigh the loss, especially if Montreal is looking to shift towards a more offensive-oriented core. And if we look at the bigger picture, this move could be a strategic step for the Canadiens not just for this year, but for the future. Rossi, despite his relatively limited NHL experience, has shown a strong work ethic and a desire to improve. Reports have highlighted his offseason training with Hall of Fame center Joe Thornton, which is a clear sign of his dedication to getting stronger and more versatile. He's already added 14 pounds this offseason, now sitting at around 196 pounds at just 5'9", a sign that he's committed to overcoming the small label that has often followed him. Critics have argued that his size might make him susceptible to being pushed off the puck, but if he continues to develop physically and mentally, he could become a real threat in Montreal's lineup. The potential trade also has salary cap implications. Montreal is currently over the cap ceiling by nearly $6 million, but this deal could help them get under the cap by trading away Anderson and possibly other assets, saving close to $8 million in cap space. That means they could sign Rossi to a long-term deal, potentially around 7 or 8 years at approximately $7 million per year. This kind of investment could be a real cornerstone for the Canadiens' future, assuming Rossi continues on his current trajectory. And with Carey Price's contract still on the books, managing the cap becomes even more crucial. This move could provide the flexibility needed to keep their core intact while adding that much-needed offensive punch. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. What about Datch? Well, Dylan Laux reported that Datch might not be ready for the start of training camp due to a knee injury sustained last season. That raises questions about his future with the team and whether Montreal should consider moving on from him. Datch has had his ups and downs, and with Rossi's offensive skills and youth, the Canadiens might see an opportunity to upgrade their forward group even further. Rossi has scored 45 goals in his young career, almost matching Datch's 43 goals in 84 more games. So if Montreal does decide to trade Datch, it could be to make room for a younger, more dynamic player like Rossi, who could potentially fill that second-line role with more consistency and offensive upside. And let's not forget the broader context here. The Wild are actively looking to move Rossi, and there are reports that several teams, including the Flyers, Canucks, Predators, Flames, and Sabres, are interested. Minnesota's GM Bill Guerin is reportedly taking calls and seeking a significant return for Rossi, who is an RFA with a contract in the $45-50 million range. The Canadiens, given their cap situation and their need for a reliable offensive center, could be an ideal landing spot. This kind of deal, while bold, could reshape the Canadiens' core and set them up for a more competitive future. So what does this all mean for us, the fans? Well, it's exciting because it shows that the Canadiens are willing to make bold moves, to shake things up, and to invest in their future. Rossi could be a cornerstone piece, a player who grows into a leadership role and helps Montreal take that next step. The potential acquisition of Jiricek could solidify their blue line, giving them a young defender with top-pairing potential. It's a strategic move that combines offensive talent with defensive stability, something Montreal desperately needs to compete in today's NHL. In the end, this kind of trade could be exactly what the Canadiens need to accelerate their rebuild, to infuse new energy into their roster, and to give fans hope for brighter days ahead. The offseason is still young, and the Canadiens are clearly making their intentions known. They're aiming high, looking to compete, and not afraid to make bold moves to get there. Whether Rossi ends up in Montreal or not, it's a sign that this team is serious about contending in the near future, and that's what we all want to see, isn't it? A team that fights, scores, and brings the Stanley Cup back to Montreal. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUB algorithm to keep recommending the latest Montreal Canadiens news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Montreal Canadiens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you think Rossi is the right fit for the team? Are you excited about the possibility of seeing him in a Canadiens uniform, boosting the offense and helping lead the team back to the playoffs? Or do you think the Canadiens should explore other options? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Canadiens' future. Remember, this is just the beginning, and I'll be back very soon with more updates, rumors, and analysis on everything happening in Montreal. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, go Canadiens!